High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very power-packed weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that they've not seen men that are vulnerable, that are authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God has called me to be.
And look, we're finished, and they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right? This is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this have gone on for hours and hours if we even could.
Because we've had a very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend, because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your ticket already, because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do, you want to register for next year.
Oh, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I believe you can hear me very well. How are you guys doing today? Wow, we have an interesting conversation to have today, and I hope that you are right there with me and you're ready to share, you're ready to learn, and I'm ready as well. If you're ready, then I'm ready. So there's no Those that are here, if you're watching on Facebook, on Instagram, please, I want to know if you're here. Just let me know. And for those that are here, thank you so much for joining. Yes, we can. Right, you can hear me. Fantastic. That's good. And let's take this opportunity just to share this as well around and just tell people that we're alive. This is a very important subject to talk about because I strongly believe that there's a lot of things that we can do if we got this right. Okay, so let's share this with our friends and family. Let them join us in our conversation today, and I know that it's gonna do them good. All right, because our topic is quite an important one. Really, really good and important topic, and I believe that by knowing exactly what to do, it will go a long way to help anyone. All right. So let me know where you're tuning in from and share this from your status everywhere. And let's have a real conversation this evening. And don't forget to put on the chat for joining me today. But prior, before I go in, I just want to talk about this event that is coming up a couple of weeks from now, which is titled the High Performing Man event, as you can see on the screen. So if you're here, you know someone in London, in the UK, or families in this area, you can just encourage them to be part of this event. We're going to have an awesome time, the Complete Man, the High Performing Man Conference. It's important to know that men need men to succeed, men need men as well to advance in their lives. So we will be more than honored and happy if you can register for this event, and wives as well, encourage your husbands as well to be part of this event. I think it's going to do everybody a massive good. All right, fantastic. Today we are looking at how to respect your husband. How to respect your husband. There are keywords there, some keywords that I would like to just debunk first. How to respect your husband without confusion. As a marriage coach and also as a man, there's something that is most common when it comes to relationship with their wives. And most of them keep saying that they are not being respected, and some of them wonder why. And I know that respect is mutual. I'm not saying that the woman don't needs to be need to be respected. She definitely does to be respected. However, the man here is what I'm trying to address, because sometimes when you don't understand what respect means to a man, you might be wondering, then why are we even talking about this in the first place? Why is this important? But this is very, very important at different levels. So, how do you actually respect your husband without confusion? But before we go into detail, I will also say that I'm a man myself, and I know that respect means something different to me to someone else. So the way we view this is very personal, okay? And I'm also talking from a generic perspective, from my personal perspective and experiences with my wife, and also from what I see and from what I hear from my coaching room as well. Hence, it is important for us to have an open mind to just find out what exactly is respect to a man, okay? And it's very, very different to various men. So this is why individuality is important here. Personalizing the respect is very important here. You cannot say because this is what my mother did, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing. This is what my sister did there to the husband, or whatever. Yes, we can have common grounds, but it's very important to understand the uniqueness of respect to a man, because when you don't do that, you might just be doing things and you're wondering, why is he feeling I don't respect him, but I do. You get that? So this is why it's very important to understand what is respect to a man. And I want to do this so that you won't be hearing the statement that men makes: my wife don't respect me, my wife don't respect me, she doesn't respect me, she treat me like this, treat me like that, and all those languages. And this thing is very common across the board. Okay, so this is why we want to address this. Now, depending on where you are coming from, respect is very unique when it comes to a man. And what is respect? I just want to define this very simple term. When you recognize and when you value a man's worth, a man's contribution, and a man's individuality in that marriage, is called respect. Three words: recognition, valuation, and valuing his worth and contribution, and the individuality. I think about three or four of them: recognizing, valuing his worth, his contribution, and his individuality. When you recognize and value man's worth, contributions, and individuality, then you are respecting your husband. You can't say you are respecting your husband if you do not acknowledge, recognize the worth that man brings, contributions that he's making, whether small or big, and also his person, his personality, his temperament. When you exclude these three things from a man, you don't respect him. So this is very important. So knowing that for men today, respect encompasses everything. It has different dimensions. It comes from emotional perspective. It comes from the intellectual aspect of that man. It comes from even the practical aspect of day-to-day interaction with their wives. It's really, really important you understand that respect to a man means a lot. And it means you acknowledging that intrinsic, major, or minute value that he contributes to that home, to you. Appreciating every effort the man makes, and also acknowledging his achievements, knowing that this man contributes. And by the time you are able to also support his goals and also understand his individuality, because he's different from you as a woman, you value his actions, his words, and then you show this from a place of trust, a place of consideration, a place of admiration, admiring the man, valuing the man, understanding that his word, his contribution, his individuality is very, very important. Then it makes a long way to see that you guys navigate anything in that relationship. So that is why it's very, very important to know that that is something that a man does not trivialize and a man takes very, very seriously. Otherwise, you find it very difficult to deal with that man. And if you look at the Bible as well, the Bible talks about respect. I remember, I think this Ephesians 5 verse 33 say, however, let each of you love his wife as himself. He's talking to the man. And let the wife see that she respects her husband. She values her husband, his worth, by acknowledging and recognizing. She also acknowledges and recognizes the appreciation that the one brings from his contributions, his efforts. Also respect the husband individuality, not trying to change the husband or trying to manipulate the husband to become something that she have desired or something that she wants. That is respect. So even God wants you to respect your husband. Now there are so many dimensions and, and underlining factors, and women give different reasons why I shouldn't do this, why I shouldn't do that. But even God said to the man to love you, regardless of whatever. And the same thing. Now this might not be sitting very well with a lot of conventional women, but it's the reality. I know that respect is mutual, just like love is mutual. Emotional support and giving, they are very mutual. But one gender might need it more than the other, depending on how they are wired and depending on how they deal with themselves and the way they deal with things at home. So God used Paul to emphasize, yes, reciprocal nature of love and respect is very critical in marriage, but you can see clearly there's a call out of specific thing that a man needs to do and a woman needs to do. God called the man out to love their wife selflessly. There is nothing you can do about it. Selfless love, total love, regardless of the behavior of that woman, regardless of the attitude and the mentality of that woman. It is important and it's regarded that the woman should love the wife regardless. Wow, that is not common today. That is not conventional. That is not politically correct in our world. That you have to love a woman regardless. She might disrespect you, but you still love her anyway. She might say things that you don't like, but you still love her anyway. So it's really, really important that we don't trivialize our wives, we don't trivialize our husband. It's a mandate that God has given to the man. Love your wife selflessly. Now, there's a mandate God gave to the woman as well to respect their husband. It's clear. And let the wife see that she respects her husband. So, respect in this context is what I've just said. Value his opinions, value his contribution, support his decisions, treat him with kindness and honor. Let him feel like he's the king, he's the head of the home. Now, that is the reality of things, right? And very important. So this is what God has said. And then Colossians 3 verse 8, it says, wives, submit to your husband as is fitting in the Lord. There's so many scriptures talks about respect and honoring and being of a good conduct and behavior towards your husband. So that's a fact. But I want to just look at something in a different way today. I want to see why this is very, very important. Why is it that men are feeling that their wives do not respect them today? Why? Why? Why are they feeling like this? Why many men feel a lack of respect from their wives today? Why? Because it's happening. Maybe you're watching this, your husband have told you you don't respect me, or you're disrespecting me, or this or that or that. What does it mean? Because when a man feels disrespected in their marriage, it's going to be difficult for him to build a strong relationship with their wives. And I will tell you why. Why did they feel that they're not being respected? I'm going to tell you why, and then I'm telling you how you can actually start respecting your husband in the home. Number one, dismissive attitudes and constant criticism of the wife. Dismissive attitudes and constant criticism of the wife. When the man is trying to share something, for whatever reason, maybe this woman has concluded that the man doesn't know what he's saying. So when you have frequent criticism, you criticize everything he does. Well, you might not do it frequently, but mostly you criticize him. And you have these dismissive attitudes towards your husband when he's bringing an idea, when he's trying to make a decision, or when he's trying to put an effort. All you can do to show disrespect is to undervalue everything. is to snub and is to just behave like he never said anything. You can either walk away, or you can be doing something on your phone, or you can be talking to your friends, or you can be looking away, no eye contact, you're not present. You are just telling him this idea is silly. And think about this, even when you know that your husband's idea is silly, you know that your husband's idea is not great, but straight talking and direct talking, most times the men see it as attack to their ideas. The men see it as an attack to who they are supposed to be. So when you do that, then they will see that you don't respect them. And there are ways you can always communicate with your wife. When always communicate with your husband when you feel like things are not just the way you want it. Let's say, for instance, the husband is telling you, this is how we want to handle this family issue, right? He's just about to talk, or he has just started to talk. You interrupt, and immediately you shut down your husband with comment like, that's a silly idea. You're not saying like a joke, you're really meaning what you're saying. Or you will say, you never think things through. Wow. He may just feel like his contribution aren't respected. It might be something that you are in charge of in the home. It might be something that you're very good at. But just by giving that comment, you never think things through. This is a silly idea. I don't think this is going to work. I don't even believe what you're saying. Please forget about this. I'm not going to do it. Like, directly, that man is going to feel disrespected. You're going to talk about what you can do differently in that scenario, in that situation. If you have an open mind, instead of dismissing his ideas outrightly, just say, oh, that's an interesting perspective. I haven't thought about this. Wow. Can we discuss this a little bit further? Because I really like what you're sharing, but I'm not just thinking about it way, but I would like to know more. There's no way the husband is going to be bitter or feel disrespected. And this is how you should make the man feel, so that the man does not entirely feel isolated. Some example could be, your suggestion is quite great, and I thank you for even handling this thing this way, or even suggesting this way. I think it's going to make a lot of difference as we discuss more. Can you see that you're already showing appreciation for even him contributing? You're showing appreciation for even him saying something. That's very, very important. So when you dismiss and criticize, it doesn't show that you respect him. When he's trying to bring an effort towards a particular thing by contributing, maybe something at home, yeah, and most times he goes unnoticed. Now what most wives told me, what most wives say to me is, but I do this a lot anyway. I do this a lot anyway. But he has done some things. It's not like he hasn't done anything at all. Why don't you just appreciate the one he has done? When the man sees lack of appreciation in every little thing he does, the only thing that you remember, that you didn't do this, you didn't do that, I don't like this, I don't like that. That is very, very painful. The man will feel disrespected. And sometimes in the public as well. This is number three, public criticism and embarrassment. When you belittle your husband in front of your in-laws, your friends or others, that can particularly be very, very hurtful, and that can lead to feeling of deep disrespect from your husband in front of your in-laws, in front of your friends. You might not verbally say it, but the body language shows that you disagree with him, you are against him, and he's trying to see if you can be on his side. publicly, but you just finish your husband right in front of others. That is a big disrespect. And the man will not take that very, very lightly. Or sometimes you might even be making funny jokes about his shortcomings. Sometimes you correct your husband publicly and really rebuke him in front of your friends and family members. Just make him feel humiliated, like publicly. And you know that this might be sensitive thing about your husband, and you just do this openly and you don't even care about it. That can be very painful. Or even when you disagree with him openly about whatever it is, maybe in social setting, wedding, birthday, anniversary, wherever you guys are, you just disagree with your husband completely, and everybody's just wondering, why are you so hacky to your husband? Do you know sometimes your husband can be saying things in the public, maybe trying to address or say to a group of people one or two things, but he might not be entirely um, very coherent. You don't have to rebuke him publicly. You don't have to correct him publicly. You can do private correction, public commendation, private correction, and public commendation. That will go a long way. When you ignore your husband's opinions and decisions, whatever he says, consistently, you ignore it, you override on it, you don't even consider it as any part of anything helpful in your marriage and relationship, then there's no way your husband will not feel disrespected. And these are some of the things that makes a husband feel disrespected. Sometimes they are not supported in what they are doing, their interests. You make fun of it, you laugh at it, their hobbies, their careers. You really become so unsupportive. You belittle everything they are doing, and then you wonder why the man is not going to feel disrespected. And the other one I believe that is so common as well, when the wife begin to micromanage and control the husband back to back. The husband cannot be comfortable and free to be themselves, but the man is constantly being micromanaged. Do this, do that, do this, do this, do that, do this, do this, do that, and constantly giving him list. Do this, do this, do that, do this, do this, do that. And whatever he does, you are never satisfied. You can't even comment on it. No matter what responsibility I've given to him, you cannot just keep quiet. Constantly, constantly doing this. Sometimes some women prioritize others over their husbands. And they do this to spite their husband. They prioritize their children. They prioritize their work. They prioritize their businesses, other responsibilities over the relationship they have with their husband. And there's no way the man will not feel neglected, isolated, and thrown aside, and they're always coming last. There's no way the man will not feel neglected. He will feel unimportant, unvalued. And at the end of the day, there's no way he will not feel disrespected. These are some of the things that can make a man feel disrespected. One that I believe is so terrible. I mean, really, really terrible. When their wives are comparing their husband with other husbands or other men on TV, on social media, their parents, their brothers, their exes. Comparing your husband to an extent of making him lose his respect. Not for encouragement, not for trying to help him to do something differently, but unfavorably you compare him to other men explicitly. You don't even shy about it. And then you implicate him in many ways. That will damage his self-esteem, and that is 100% disrespectful. Most times you see women say things like this: why can't you be more like so and so, like my dad, like my elder brother, like my friend, like my boss? There's no way the man will not feel inadequate, unappreciated, unloved, uncared for. You're not seeing any positive qualities about your husband. You're not finding a way to express and appreciate at least where he is, even though he's on a journey. you completely begin to compare him with others. And there is no celebration of his strength or whatever he does. There's no way that man will not feel 100% disrespected. And sometimes when there is an issue, and I find this one quite annoying, your husband is coming to you to resolve an issue or a conflict or a disagreement, even if he's the one that caused it, even if he's the one that generated it. But now he's looking for a way to resolve things, and it's coming to you day one, day two, day three, for days. You are just holding on to that past grievances. You are still holding on to what he did, what he said, and you keep bringing it up repeatedly all the time, and you don't even want to try to find a way to move forward with this item. You perpetually blame, perpetually disrespect your husband, and you don't even want to give him any audience for you guys to resolve that issue. Bearing grudge, and in that process denying him physical affection, denying him romance and everything that you can offer. And this is days and days and sometimes weeks, and you wonder why your husband will not feel disrespected. He definitely will. So respect to a man is a big thing, and these are some of the things that makes the man feel disrespected in his own house, in his own home. So there are things that you can now begin to think. There are things that you begin to observe. Okay, how do I understand my husband? Because if you want to respect your husband, there are things you need to know about your husband so that you can fully respect that husband. Respect to a man is very personal, it's individualized. And it's good you come from that place so that you know how to respect your husband going forward. We're going to take a short break now, and then we're going to come back. So please don't go anywhere. We'll come back very shortly and continue, and where I will talk about how to understand your husband, and then also how do you actually show respect on a day-to-day with your husband so that he will feel that his worth, his contribution, his individuality, and everything he does is acknowledged, recognized, and appreciated in that home. So stay behind, and we're going to be back very shortly to continue our conversation.
High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very power-packed weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that they've not seen men that are vulnerable, that are authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God is coming to be.
And look, we're finished, and they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right? This is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this have gone on for hours and hours if you even could.
Because we've had a very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend, because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your ticket already, because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do, you want to register for next year.
So, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I believe you've had an awesome time that you join us in London as a man. And I also want to encourage wives to encourage their husbands to get this. Wives, you can buy this as a Father's Day ticket for your husbands to join us on the 6th of July. And also, it's very important that you also encourage your brothers and those around you to participate in this program. It's going to be quite enriching, transformative, where we're going to deal with things pertaining to man and how we can move forward as men. So join us on the 6th of July. And I know that as you do so, God is going to bless you. And don't forget, you can go to www.limitlesslifepro.com, and that's where you can get your ticket and join us at the High Performing Man Conference 2024. Now we're going to talk about how do you actually respect your husband. Now this is where we're going to be real now. Going to be more real. How do you actually respect your husband? How do you do this? How do you actually respect your husband without confusion? For me, I think it's important to fully respect your husband, to fully appreciate your husband from the beginning of that marriage to the end of that marriage when they do you apart. It is utmost crucial and critical to understand number one, his personality, his lifestyle, his temperaments, etc. These are the first set of things I strongly believe that all wives and women need to know about their husbands to foster a deep, respectful, and loving relationships and marriages. We cannot trivialize understanding these dynamics of our husbands. Number one, personality traits. Personality traits. Because if you do understand your husband's personality traits, then you're possibly ahead of a lot of women. Is your husband introverted or extroverted? Understanding whether your husband gains energy from maybe being alone, right? Or from social interactions. These affect how he unwinds, how he recharges, how he recreates, how he relaxes. So, knowing the personality traits of your husband is where to start. Is your husband an optimistic person? Is he a pessimistic person? What is his general outlook to life? Can you help your husband support him better? If he's an optimist, maybe need less reassurance. But if he's a pessimist, probably we need more encouragement. Now, there's some dynamics that if you know these things, you just know how to treat your husband, how to relate with your husband better. Is your husband someone that is very structured in life? Everything about structure, structure, everything about process, process, plan, plan, plan. Or is he flexible sometimes? When you know this thing, you know how to deal with your husband. Is he someone that is very routine oriented? Is he someone that is very structured oriented? Or is he someone that likes spontaneity? Someone that is flexible in his approach in doing everything? When you know this, then you know peace. When you know this, then you understand that it's really important you as a person know how to deal with your husband from a personality trait perspective. Let me be very practical. How do you understand this? If your husband need to be alone, or he needs alone time. If the husband is very introverted, or maybe your husband plans some social activities or interaction if he is very extroverted. Now, knowing where the man stands, knowing what gives him this recharge ability, you will know whether to provide support and positivity towards that man if he tends to be pessimistic, if he tends to be the one that is not very strong in dealing with certain things. Then you're going to align your way of doing things, how you talk, how you behave, how you act, with his own preferences, either for a structured life or a more flexible life. Then you look for a way to reduce whatever friction that is going to come between both of you. And this is where you show level of grace, consideration, understanding that your husband is not you. Do you see where I'm coming from? If your husband is the one that loves social interaction, loves to go out, or loves to be with friends, or loves to chat or stay awake or something, and you are not like that, you completely condemn the husband, completely said, this is not working. Now, you are introverted, you are someone that can be alone, and you are the one also that need me time. We're not saying that your husband will never come close to you or spend time with you and all that. Or your husband is the one that say, okay, let's go out for a date night, let's go out to watch this, let's go out there, let's go out there. And you never accept any of these things. Now he might be very considerate, become quiet and all that, but he's just wondering why is it that everything about him you don't even care. But you want him to care about you and care about everything about you. That man will be feeling resented, and many times he will feel neglected. So personality trait is a big deal. Know that, and then know how to navigate your marriage and relationship with your husband. Number two, which I believe is very important, lifestyle preferences. As a married man, I know that work-life balance is very important. Hobbies and interest is very important. Health and fitness is very important. By the time as a woman you understand his work habits, including how much time he dedicates in doing certain things, maybe to his career, his business, his hobby, and then how he tries to balance this with his personal life. If you just know that around your husband dynamics, then you know how to fit in yourself and your time to make that look like you're not living your husband's life, but he's quite independent, even though you guys are together. Look at his passion, hobbies, interest. Are you there to show interest and support, or you are there to endanger everything that makes that man happy? This man used to be quite an interesting man, but after the man got married to you, he's as dull as anything. But life doesn't even interest him anymore. And then you wonder why my husband is like this, my husband is like that. Have you asked yourself, have I contributed in this? Imagine if you're married for 10, 20 years or 15 years or whatever number of years, you have conditioned your husband. You have conditioned your husband gradually to become a desired expectation in your mind when you were a girl or when you were single or when you were not even married. Your husband has unique hobbies before he met you, but right now, all the hobbies of your husband cancelled. All the interests of your husband cancelled. And then you wonder why your husband is the way it is. Does he love health, fitness? Be aware of that routine. Maybe going to the gym, dietary preferences, fitness goals. Are you supporting that, or you are attacking it, or you are against it? Try to look at his lifestyle preferences and then look at how that can fit in into your own beliefs and mindset, so that the man doesn't feel like all these things about his life is completely non-important. Or you can choose and pick or what interests you, but as long as you're not into whatever your husband does, or this area that you know that is a big deal for him, you just want him to kill it out of his life so that you can be happy, so that you can feel that I have conquered now. And you are so excited that you are micromanaging, micro controlling, and the husband has been molded, programmed, and conditioned to this particular expectation of yours. Maybe you even start creating your husband to be your ex-boyfriend. You start creating your husband to be your uncle. You start creating your husband to now become your father, because this is how your father did, this is how your father become, and now you want your husband to become your father, become your exes, become this, become that. And the man is struggling to fit in to the shoe of your father, fit into the shoe of your uncle, your ex-boyfriends, or whatever you have in your head, or fit into a particular book or a fiction novel or a movie or a magazine icon or whatever it is. You want him to fit in there, and you are doing whatever you can to ensure that your husband fits into that thing you have in your head. And you wonder why the man is revolting. You wonder why the man is running away from you. You wonder why the man just don't want to have anything to do with you. And you're saying he doesn't love me, he doesn't care about me, he's not interested in me. But you are constantly creating something that he doesn't want to become. You fight about it, you argue about it in the bedroom, in the toilet, in the kitchen. Even when you are driving, you are still arguing about how you can create your husband to an image you have in your head. That's going to be a difficult place to be. Very hard. So how do you now respect him based on his lifestyle preferences? Try to look at his work commitments. Try to be encouraging. Try to support his work-life balance by looking for ways to fit in, not to be against it. Even if that might be taking his time, there's a way you will go around that than just being forceful. Some interest of your husband is not entirely your cup of tea, but can you just show some genuine interest about some of his hobbies and the things that makes him happy? Encourage him. I started with personality traits: extroverted, introverted. What is it that your husband likes? Pessimistic? What is it that is it structured or flexible? How is his lifestyle preferences? Find a way to get into that. That will go a long way. Understanding your husband's temperament is the third one. Wow, this is big. Is your husband somebody that emotionally reacts? Is your husband someone that is tolerant or patient? Do you know his decision making style of your husband? For instance, practically at home, are you able to know how he reacts to stress, how he reacts to conflicts, how he reacts to a lot of emotional situations? Some men might withdraw, while others might want to talk things through, while others might just keep quiet for a while. Some might shout and scream. What is the dynamic of your husband's emotional reactivity or reactions when things happen? When there is stress with the finances, stress at home, stress with the kids, how does he react? When you understand this, then you will know how to approach it. You know how to talk to the man. You know how to address it. You know that even men, some men are very patient, some men are not. When if you understand your husband's patience, I call it patience threshold. This can help you to navigate a lot of conflict and everyday interaction that may have landed you guys into more trouble, but you'll be able to navigate it more smoothly because you know his temperament and his emotional level of patience and tolerance. Is your husband the one that is quick in making decisions? Or is the one that needs time to ponder over things, ponder over decisions, ponder over choices? You have come to tell your husband about what you want to do. And the husband said, okay, give me some time, let me think about it. Do you know whether that's what your husband likes to do? Or because he has not given you answer within 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and you're just going taboo? and then you start saying things, start screaming, you start writing, you start testing, you start WhatsApping, you start doing all kind of thing, sending things on your WhatsApp status so that your husband will see it and know that you're against him delaying. Looking for quotes here and there that doesn't make any sense so that you can just attack your husband, make him feel bad. That's not going to work. That man will feel very disrespected. So when you are like this, how do you respect your husband in this scenario? Provide space. Be a listener. Don't always be on that place where you will always want to react with him when he is emotionally reacting. So women say, well, he started it, I'm going to give you back to him. You don't even know who you're dealing with. Well, I don't understand whether two crazy people will not lead you to anywhere, right? It will not lead you guys to anywhere. So give him some time. Now, practice patience and understand whether your husband is somebody that takes time to do things. What is his level of patience? Do you know that? Do you understand that? Or you are just interested to just hit back? Do you know his tolerance level? And it should be this, it should be that. Sometimes your husband is about to make decision, and you might know better than him. You have tried to share this, you have tried to explain, but is yet to come to that place of understanding on what you are saying, and you are just so quick. You are very deliberate. You start calling your mother, your father, your friends. You are very angry. You start writing. You say you want to leave the marriage. All sorts of things. That is not going to help you to respect your husband. That man will feel really disrespected. Understanding this will help you to respect your husband. Number 4, communication style. Do you know how your husband talk? Is your husband direct talker or indirect talker? Is your husband expressive or very reserved? Is your husband somebody that loves to resolve conflict now or later? Do you know his communication style of your husband? Mm, yeah, right. So it's really, really important. Some men prefer to direct communicate. Some men don't. They just want to be comfortable. When you understand these subtle cues about your husband, you know how to talk to him. Some women don't even know how to control their mouth. They are competing with parrot who will talk more in the house. Sometimes the man, if you know your husband doesn't like noise, why do you talk so much in the house that the man just run away, enter his car and drive off? Because the parrot can never be silent. I must talk. This is how I am. This is the way I was made. And I'm going to say it exactly the way I'm feeling it. And then you are just giving him and giving him. And you wonder why the man is running away from you. Because your mouth cannot just be all right. You must have something to say, something to speak about. That means you don't even know your husband's communication style. He's back from work. He doesn't just want to start talking immediately. Maybe hi, this and that. And then he just want to chill. Or maybe your husband is the one that when he come back, he's a parrot. He just wants you guys to talk about everything that happened in the day. Understand his communication dynamics. Is your husband someone that find it hard to talk? He find it hard to open up to you about his feelings. He tends to keep it for a while, but you want him to speak right now. Or your husband is the one that wants to speak right now, but you never want to speak right now. How are you going to meet that? How are you going to even find a way to respect your husband? It's going to be difficult, right? So how he's how he prefers to deal with things, try to understand that and find a way to meet at the middle ground. Because if you understand your husband's communication style, you'll be able to match that style, whether direct, if he prefers that, or gentle, if he's more reserved. Encourage him to express his feelings without feeling shy, if he's reserved, or provide space for him. Let him talk about whatever is going on in his life, whatever he doesn't like about you. Okay. There are certain things your husband might not like about you, Now let him express himself. Don't shut him down. And if your husband tells you, I don't like something about you or something that you've done, don't be defensive and begin to dismiss whatever he's saying. Acknowledge that and try to find a way to move forward with your husband. Otherwise, he's just going to feel very hot at the end of the day. Right? So try to adapt middle ground way on how to resolve conflict, approach things from a complementary love, solution driven perspective, ensuring that you are there to communicate with respect, not with dishonor and disrespect, that at the end of the day, you escalate everything in the house. Very, very important. The dama will not feel respected. Some other people is values and beliefs. Do you know what is core values of your husband? Do you know what is his cultural beliefs are, his religious beliefs are? Now, I know that some men are very family oriented. Some men are very career oriented, honesty oriented, adventurous oriented. Some men are very outgoing. Just understand what are some of these their values. Are you gonna work with them on that? Do you understand his religious beliefs? Be aware of his religious beliefs. Be aware of his decisions about certain things. Now, some men like their culture. Yeah, most African men like their culture, and most other cultures around the world. As long as the culture is not violating some principle in your marriage and value and core stuff, well, there's nothing wrong. The man likes his culture. Maybe he wants to wear his traditional attire, but you never want him to wear this traditional attire just because you want him not to be like that. That is not fair. That is not good. That is not great. That means you're not understanding and appreciating your husband's cultural beliefs. There are some things that your husband likes to do. It's not demonic, it's not evil, but it's cultural stuff. Now, you might not be into that, but you can't continue to shut him down and never allow him to express himself just because you're not in that whatever he believes. Relationship overall, it's critically important that you as a person do not violate your husband by preventing him from expressing himself culturally. Do you know his aspirations? Do you know his dreams, his goals, personal or professional? Are you there to find a way to see what these things mean to him? So understanding this core thing about your husband will go a long way to really drive the respect you have towards him. Because respect and support to his core values is very, very important if you know that. And then the way you behave towards that goes a long way. His religious and cultural beliefs and practices, as long as it doesn't bring you into a place of pain and suffering or separation from God, then I don't think you should completely deny him of that. Try to find a way to see how you can support his goals and aspiration as well. This will go a long way to impact your marriage and relationship. What about his financial habits and preferences? Is your husband a spender, a saving habit kind of person? Knowing that he's a spender, then you know how to talk, you know how to find a way to help and support him. If he's a saver, you find a way to support and encourage him so that the finances are managed properly. Even when mistakes has been made in the past, things has happened that maybe he didn't get it right. His financial plan and goal was not exactly as you thought. And as a result of this, maybe there are consequences in the family, in the marriage that is very significant. And you guys have to find a way to navigate this. Don't begin to use that as a yardstick to disrespect your husband, and anything that has to do with money, then you just talk down on him, you disrespect him, you make him feel like he's nobody because he has made some financial blunders, he has made some decisions that resulted into a loss and all that. And as a result of that, you demonize your husband financially, you demonize your husband from contributing, you demonize your husband about everything. In fact, you deny him of access to fund, access to a lot of things because of these things. I don't think it's fair. And that man will feel very disrespected and attacked. And when you always remind your husband about what has happened in the past all the time, and you use this as a manipulative tool, a deliberate way to micro manipulate and micro maneuver your way into domination and control over your husband, and you do this from a place of disrespect, a place of selfishness and self-centeredness, that man will feel disrespected. So this is why it's really, really important that you as a person knows that and find a way to support him, which gives him a lot of opportunity for him to know that you really, really care. So respecting him is really, really important. And some of the common ways that I want to also highlight to the ones that I've spoken about is listening to him actively. Give him undivided attention. Listen to him actively. Acknowledge and validate what he's trying to tell you. It's really important to a man that their wife listen to them. Appreciate and give him gratitude. Verbally acknowledge. Tell him thank you. Tell him well done. Verbally appreciate the effort he's putting in the family, the work, the household, the church, everything he has done. Try as much as he can to appreciate that. Compliment him on his strengths and achievements and ways he's doing things, whether big or small. Men love things like this. It shows respect. Support and encourage him. Be his cheerleader. Be positive in your reinforcement, in your encouragement. This empowers the man. To man, this is respect. When you give the man time, when you give the man space, either to think about something, to unwind, to pursue some hobbies that might not be your own cup of tea, all these things are part of respect. Personal space to think and reflect and find a way to navigate whatever challenges they are going through. These are other ways to respect your husband. You are trying to make a decision that is major in the family and you are consulting him. Even something pertaining to your work, something pertaining to your business, something pertaining to things that you guys are doing, but you are deliberately seeking for your husband's opinion, consulting him on decisions that could also involve him, major stuff in the family, financial decisions, travel decisions, opinions here and there. Having that mutual agreement gives a man the opportunity that he's not just a figurehead, it's not somebody that does not exist, a figureless person in the house. This thing makes the man to feel respected when you consult him. The way you communicate, the way you talk that I've spoken about, your tone of voice, your language, even when you criticize him constructively with love, the feedback is not demonizing. The feedback is not making him feel that he's losing himself or his self-esteem is gone. He doesn't feel worthy to be around you. When you personally do not attack your husband's personality because of the way you speak and share things with him, it goes a long way to make your husband comfortable and to be ready to share and discuss and feel respected in the home. And the man also want to feel respected from a place of trust and honesty. You are open, you are transparent, you're not hiding things, hiding your feelings, hiding your plans, hiding your actions, hiding your savings, hiding this, hiding the, you are constantly hiding major stuff that this man's supposed to know. You are not transparent. And also believing in his ability is part of being honest. Trusting his judgment and abilities, finding a way to encourage your husband to rise beyond where he is today, looking for a way for him to self-develop, signing him up to the high performing man conference, paying for him, doing everything to encourage him to be a better man, a better husband. It's really, really fantastic. That will support your husband to move forward. What about being thoughtful and being kind, being tolerant towards your husband? Supporting him by providing what he loves, knowing his likes and dislikes, finding a way to meet in the middle about certain things, you know, being thoughtful about how you relate with him. That goes a long way to impart your relationship. That goes a long way to know that you are not just there, but you are doing everything possible to help your husband to rise. And that will support your husband to continue to move forward. So it's really, really important that you as a person support your husband and make sure that your husband is not just there and not knowing that the wife is there trying to support, the wife is there trying to make life better and not miserable. That will go a long way to help your husband. And it's really, really important you do that. Otherwise, the man is just going to feel down, depressed, and sad. And you can also do this by physically as well giving him affection. Oh, this one is a big deal for the man. Give him affection. The man wants affection. And not just affection, but I mean on the other room as well. Don't punish your husband by not giving him sexual satisfaction. Intimacy is a big deal for a man. Don't deny him. Don't say you have headache when you don't have headache. Don't say you have period cramp when you don't even have period cramp. Don't fake things so you can make it through the day or make it through the night. Be real and authentic. If you're not feeling well, be honest about it. But don't say you're not feeling well every time that he comes close to you, right? Don't punish him constantly, sexually. And one of the ways that the man feel respected is just honoring him as a king in that house. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we have extensively talked about this area, which I believe is really, really important. And the last thing I would say on how to respect your husband is actually to go to your husband and ask him, what is respect to you? And what are the things I need to be doing that shows that I truly respect you? Now, what I've shared with you is what I've heard many men talk about, what I've heard from different places when I speak or hear or email, also from my own practical perspective. Told my wife I want A, B, C, and D. When these things are happening, then I'm feeling respected. If these things are not happening, I'm not feeling respected. And then she has to also tell me, when these things are happening, I feel loved, I feel valued, cherished, appreciated. So you can see love and respect is very individualistic. You need to find out what is respect to your husband. And what I've shared, watch this thing again, share this thing to groups, let other people hear about this and let them know that respecting a man is a big deal. You can watch this and discuss it and look at different areas that you can be better. And that can help you to even know how to value and respect your husband more. I believe that this has been very helpful. And thank you so much for all those that joined and those that joined from Instagram, those that joined us on Facebook. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. And also those that joined on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Really, really amazing. And I want to say a massive thank you. But let's make sure we share this and let's let others know as well that respecting their husband is a big deal. So if I was to summarize what I've talked about today, I said number one thing is respect is when you recognize and value your husband's worth, contributions, and individuality. And then I also talk about specific areas that husband feels this lack of respect when you are dismissive. And I spoke about a few other things around that area. And then we'll talk about how do you now start respecting your husband? What are the things you need to know? We'll talk about personality traits, temperament, communication style. You need to understand these dynamics and what exactly you need to do to make your husband feel respected in your home or your future man or the man around your life. Because respect is a big deal to a man. And we started by saying God has made it very clear that man should love their wife as Christ loved the church. And that respect is important. The Holy Book has made it very clear. The Word of God. And then he told the women that the women should respect their husbands. So it is important that we do so. And when you do that, then you will see the dynamics. Things will begin to happen. So at the back of this section, go back and ask your husband, what is respect to you? What are the things I need to do so that you can feel respected even more? By the time you do this, you'll be surprised what your husband will say and the impact of what you are going to say to him and what he's going to say to you as well. And this will change the dynamics of your marriage and relationship really, really well. All right. So let's talk about the couple of things that is happening in married life management. And we talk about the main event that is coming up on the 6th of July, 24. We are not too far away now. I want to encourage all men. Wives, encourage your husbands to be part of this event. If you have somebody that is in the UK, encourage them. You can even buy tickets for others, for men over 18 to join us, because this is an event where we are being diagnosed by the words, the interactions, the sections, the panel sections, the workshops, everything we're doing from a parental perspective, relationship perspective, marriage perspective, finance perspective, love perspective, career perspective, business perspective, spirituality perspective. Every aspect of a man is dynamically addressed so that we can navigate whatever challenges that we're going through. Men need men to move forward in their lives and to navigate certain areas. So it is important that you register to this event so that you will participate and see how your life can change and become better. So book your tickets here at www.limitlesslifepro.com. Send us a message if you want more clarity. We'll be able to help you and support you. And also you can go to our website as well, www. You want us to have a conversation, you want me to support you guys in your marriage, in your relationship, why not? You can send us an email at info@marrylifemanagement.com, or actually go to our website and directly book a 30-minute section with myself. I'll be able to help you. You can go to this website and book a 30-minute section. I'll find a way to help you and support you. If you want to look at our online course, the same thing. Go to our online course page, the loveframework.com. You'll be able to see quite a lot of things about what I've talked about already and different places to support you and to grow. Don't forget, we're not far away. Message us on any of our social media sites and we'll be able to help you to grow and to be better. And I can't wait to see what this section today will do in your life if you begin to take action and begin to implement what you have learned. I believe that you will not remain the same. And if you have anything to share, please put on the comment box, let us know, and let's see how these programs are helping you and supporting you to navigate. Share this on your status. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and let this discussion today be of impact to many more people as we begin to share it all around. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very power-packed weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that you've not seen men that are vulnerable, that are authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God was coming to be.
And look, we're finished, and they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right, this is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this would have gone on for hours and hours if you even could.
Because we've had a very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend, because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your ticket already, because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do. You want to register for next year.